Well, apologies everyone, this podcast has been colonised by Scousers. That's right, as a quarter of today's cohort, Ellie is a coloniser. If those figures seem off, speak to the man who supplied them, Jim Ratcliffe. Andy Arimo here too. Andy, you're very worried about pubs for this game.
Very worried, yeah. Obviously, I used to coming into Lime Street and loads of pubs in and around there, then a quick taxi off to the ground to Goodison. It's a bit of a schlep, I've been told, down to the new Hill Dickinson for Monday night. So anywhere local that I can go in safe, or where I need to be where if somebody asks me the time. Bearing in mind now that very sadly my mate passed away a couple of weeks ago, I used to go into these pubs with him. He was from Tyrone, so I used to get him to do all the talking. So that was always nice and handy.
I think you'll be okay. I think you can just still go to the same pubs around Lime Street. You'll just have to get the train to Sandhills. It'll be fine. But there's, I think if you head over to Moorfields, which is sort of like a bit towards the new stadium, still in the city centre, there's loads of great pubs around there, and you can just jump on that train, and it's one stop over to the stadium.
It must be. Is it not really busy, that train?
There's loads of them on, so you can get around. It does get busy, yeah. If you've got it in you, the walk is quite nice, but it'll probably be pouring down, won't it? But yeah, if you've got the legs, the walk's all right.
You want it at the start or the end of the season, then, this away trip, don't you? Because what's on the way? If you do walk it, what kind of stuff is on the way? What kind of pubs are on the way for those who don't know central Liverpool that well?
If you're around the kind of Moorfields area, there's the Denby Castle, which isn't an Everton pub, but I feel like they'll be fairly receptive to anyone who's well behaved going in there.
Oh, that's you out, Andy.
Yeah, done.
There's a couple of Wetherspoons around there if that's your bag. There's just loads of like independent free houses around there. Cross Keys is a good one at the back of Moorfields. If you want to go a little bit further away in the other direction, there is the Ship and Mitre. You've probably been in there already. Yeah, there's loads, to be honest. Loads of like proper old man pubs. Lady of Man.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
That's everyone's favourite kind of pub, isn't it?
Dreadful stereotype. Listen to the coloniser. Okay, so we kept being told, though, that there was going to be a tram built, though, so we were all expecting to be able to ride the tram, and I was reading that it was almost pointless getting it because it was only going to go up to about 10 miles an hour for like 500 yards or something like that.
I hadn't heard anything about this. I thought that they might have put an extra station on the Merseyrail line, but incompetent. They've not done it. The transport thing is a bit of a nightmare. I can't lie to you. We've sort of navigated our way around it now, but yeah, it's a hassle.
What's the general feeling on the stadium itself, Ellie? Is it popular now? Have people taken to it? Is it as much fun as Goodison? Let's say. I don't know. What are the Everton fans generally feeling about it?
I think the general consensus is that it's amazing, because it is amazing. There's been a few sore points, like the cost of beer and food there. Like I said, getting there is a bit of a nightmare. When you're in there, though, it's incredible. But I think we've just annoyingly just had loads of evening games, Monday night games, Tuesday night games, which takes the fun out of it a bit because you can't really enjoy it in the same way that you can Saturday 3:00. It's no Goodison, of course, but I think everybody's finding their bearings with it a bit better.
Night matches, though, under lights, atmospheres are usually better, aren't they? Is it just because Sky keeps shifting it to Mondays or something?
Yeah, so I thought rather than actually do my job today, I'd have a little look into the percentages of wins, draws, losses in Saturday 3 p.m. kickoffs versus midweek/late Sunday TV kickoffs. I took out the big six, which included Spurs, but I don't think they're in that anymore, are they really? But I think Saturday 3 p.m. was, for Everton, 57% wins versus the midweek TV kickoffs was only 30% wins. So it was 14% losses on a Saturday 3 p.m, 40% losses midweek, which is quite a stat, isn't it?
Great.
So it's got 0-0 written all over it then.
I think United will probably win because it's been bad. But I just think that, when it's a Monday night, you've been at work all day. In my case, I've had to get from Manchester city centre to Liverpool, which is 2 hours sat in traffic, basically, for the entire journey. You get to Liverpool, you've then got to get to the stadium. You're not drinking, you're tired, you've got work the next day, so you're going to have to maybe leave early to get out because you're not going to get home till midnight or whatever. It just takes all the fun out of it, doesn't it? It's like the malaise really sets in when it becomes a chore to go to a football match rather than something you look forward to. And I think that's probably a lot of people because the atmosphere has been something that's been picked up. It's like, well, yeah, it's Monday night. What do you want people to do?
Yeah, it's almost like it's become a TV show first and foremost rather than match-going supporters being looked after, isn't it?
I know, imagine that.
You can console yourself, though, can't you, with the fact that you lot invented fashion?
It's another thing that I was having a little look into. I've actually got a degree in cultural studies, so I was sort of aware of all the things around this. And I know that you'd previously hinted that it was the Liverpool fans that kicked it all off. I'd be inclined to agree because it was that sort of late 70s, early 80s kind of casual culture where they were in Europe. But it's gone on and on with Everton being in Europe mid-80s as well, to the point now where it's less that kind of casual look and they all just wear the same kind of uniform, all of the young men at the football. And I still think it's quite a Liverpool thing. You can tell straight away who's not from round there based on what they're wearing.
The one I'm thinking of that you see a lot of, not necessarily Liverpool, is the picture that I've seen on the Madri logo. I don't know, that's mainly Villa.
I was just going to say that sounds like a Nottingham Forest fan done it or something. You can tell the Scousers straight away though, because they've all just got black shell suits on. We've come full circle. We're back to that.
Still.
Yeah.
Like Hugo Boss though now, aren't they, rather than the Cabrini ones?
Yeah, or if you get, your kingpin Scousers who are wearing Valentino trainers and stuff. You can just tell straight away. But it is still very much a different to everyone else attitude that people have got.
And how do you fit in then? Is it like rollers and slippers and all that?
Oh yeah, for every home game, yeah, definitely. Ham it up even more if I go to aways, just so people know.
Has Monterex died yet, or is that still popular?
Still going. It's still the big name. They've all got the full-on matching Monterex top, trousers, Air Max 95s, or as they call them, 110s, because they used to cost £110.
So what's the big difference then? Because you live in Manchester now or thereabouts. What's the big difference between, say, talk to me about people who are our age, Manx versus Scousers, and also the younger people whose clothes I frankly don't understand. But that's probably always been the case with everyone ever, hasn't it?
What, the difference in what, culturally or just sartorially?
Oh yeah, but I don't need like a couple of 100 years of history, but just like how you reckon you can tell from 30 paces where someone's from, basically, out of the two. So let's say on this game ahead, people are walking to the game. How are you going to tell which is which?
You can just tell straight away. When you've been looking at it for long enough, you can just tell. And I always say to my dad, because we'll get off the train at Sandhills and walk down, and all the coaches park up outside the ground. So everybody's walking past, because my dad's 72 and he can't walk. So we go really slow, so you've got a moment to have a look at everything. And just immediately, from here, not from here, from here.
And what is it? What's giving it away, especially if it's our lot for this game?
The trainers usually. There's trainers that Scousers would not be seen dead in.
Oh,
that people from...
Do I need to worry then being an old man with my Skechers?
Oh my God!
No, there's loads of old fellas in Skechers there.
That's probably that terrible choice of footwear, and it is a terrible choice because they'll kill your feet anyway. Skechers, anyway, I don't want to get sued by them, but they're I don't mean from a fashion point of view. They're a bad idea from a health point of view. But yeah, that's the leveler, isn't it? That's the leveler. Fellas over 50 odd, straight to the Skechers. It's because you've all got Costco memberships. But what are the other ones? The ones that you think the Scousers wouldn't be seen dead in, but you think that we would wear.
A pair of gazelles.
I think from our point of view, I always think the Manx, it's the coats. I can see us going out in coats. We're noticeable from that point of view when I see us travelling away.
Yeah, well, you wear them in July, don't you?
Can't afford the heating.
You're sticking hard and fast to the coat stereotype.
Yeah, that's the other thing. All the Scousers only wear puffer coats. If they're wearing a coat, it'll be a puffer coat. Usually a Monty Rex one. They're very popular. I don't know. You just know. Like a Scouser wouldn't be wearing a pair of like Nike. I don't know what. They're all just wearing Air Max. If it's not an Air Max 95, then they're definitely an away fan. You'll notice if you're going on Monday. You'll notice.
What about the gait? What about the swagger?
I don't know if there's. I'll keep an eye on it, but I don't know if there's much.
Well,
difference.
what did you do in cultural studies? You've got a made up degree, and you can't even tell me about people's about the
way
different
people walk.
Yeah, the way people walk between the two.
The Manx swagger.
Yeah.
Simeon
I don't even.
stroll.
Is that still a thing? You don't see it very often, do you?
Do you not?
Maybe I need to open my eyes more.
It's because
I'm going to keep an eye out on Monday.
We've reached an age where you're just not in Market Street as often as previously.
No, this is it. This is it.
This is where you're going to see it.
But yeah, if you go and have a look and you'll be like, oh yeah, I see what she means.
Right. Thanks for that. If you've got any fashion suggestions for us or you want to tear any of us to pieces, just email creamofmanchester88@gmail.com. We're doing this for free, at least for now, probably forever. But do help us like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on all the socials. But it's very important. Can't stress this enough. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. How did you come to be an Everton fan? I mean, I can tell by the accent that it seems to be pretty natural. But what's the evolution of it?
My mum, her dad, his dad. It's a family thing.
But you go with your dad?
Yeah, my dad's from Glasgow originally, but he moved to Liverpool in the 70s and met my mum, and all her family are big Evertonians. So he just likes to go to the football, which is quite nice, isn't it? And he's quite willing to pay hundreds of pounds to go and do it. But it's a nice time that we spend together. But yeah, he just loves the football.
Did he just go a bit further than the rest of them? Because they tend to stop in Blackpool.
They love a trip to Blackpool, don't they? Yeah, he's been to Blackpool loads. But it was when the shipyards closed down in Glasgow, because he's a welder by trade. So he came
went
down
to the 70s where Liverpool was about to experience a boom.
Went to Camel Laird because some of his friends had moved down, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'll have a bit of that. And he's never been back since.
It's not that bad up there. I've been.
Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, he's never moved back. He's just loves it down here. And now he's an honorary Evertonian. He does call Everton we and us.
Okay.
Who was his Glasgow team?
Probably the one that you don't want it to be.
But we're not. We're anti.
I'm impartial.
We can't.
She means
the Orange Lodge one.
Oh well. Oh. So does he do all the Gerrard stuff in his spare time with what were they drinking? Goat's blood or something when they had to pass that cup around in that clip? What was happening?
Oh Jesus, I don't know. I haven't seen that.
I've not seen that.
Some weird stuff going on with Rangers when they had to pass a cup around. I don't know what it was, but Steven Gerrard's face is quite the picture on it. So, knowing he's being filmed, taking part in this very odd Masonic stuff that they get into.
The Steven Gerrard thing was funny because obviously my dad leaned towards Steven Gerrard, no thank you. But then when he came to Rangers and did really well, it was like, God, we love Stevie G, don't we? And then when he left, it was back to being like, never liked him anyway.
Okay. Are you missing Goodison? You are, aren't you, Remo?
I do miss Goodison. Yeah, we had, some of my fondest away memories are at Goodison. Even towards, since Ferguson left, we had some good days. We used to get lots. For some reason, we used to get Everton memberships and go in the main stand about, I don't know, anywhere between 5 and a dozen of us at a time, and they used to put us in almost the same seats every season. It was weird, like they knew who we were and they didn't care.
In that
And it was a
second
bit
tier
like,
bit on the side. Yeah,
yeah,
I used to
with the
spend
worst
away
restricted
games in there
view
as well.
ever on your far right. I remember being sat with Ant Shaw once there, and he just moaned the whole game because there was a pillar blocking one of the boxes.
Well, that's why they think any new stadium's amazing.
Yeah, possibly, but it was great. You know, it was a proper stadium. We had a right laughing. I mean, I remember that last Moyes game there when he got sacked that afternoon, didn't he? I think not long after the game.
It was
And
that was the
they had
last chance of Champions League, so they had to wait until it was. I think United got thumped 3-0 or something. But he was like, "Well, we've still got an outside chance. If they'd have won it, they could have still qualified."
Possibly.
And I think that it was cheaper to sack him once it was confirmed he couldn't qualify.
But we left with, I think, 10 minutes to go because we were, you know, it was crap and we were done, and we walked out, said we'll walk back to Liverpool and we'll get a few jars, and the whole stand stood up and waved us out because they knew full well who we were, and they were all absolutely ragging us. It was good. I don't think we ever had any proper trouble or anything like that. Again, most of them knew who we were, and it was absolutely fine. I mean, obviously there was the night of Rooney's return, which was a Saturday evening, if I remember rightly. A Saturday tea time kickoff for telly, which was just an absolute red rag to a bull, given what had gone on with Rooney and what have you. And United had 5,000 or 6,000 there. That was a fun night. But people will miss those kind of grounds, and we've done the Old Trafford bit. There's just very few of them left. Villa Park, Selhurst Park.
Yeah.
But they're becoming few and far between now, and we'll miss them. And they're not aimed for us, are they? I guess they're new ones, but it's going to be interesting to see that demographic. And I'm glad that Everton fans like what they've got. It does seem to be a little bit of a departure from that kind of identikit, Pride Park, model that everyone went for, which was kind of late 20,000, 30,000, and everyone just did that same stadium for forever. It does seem to be a bit of a departure from that. So, yeah, I mean, I couldn't get a ticket this year. No tickets going for the money. And there's still people begging for them on my phone today, absolutely desperate for anything. So, I don't know when I'll get to go. A couple of my mates went for the rugby league. They had England v Australia rugby league there a couple of months ago when they loved it, said it was great. So yeah, looking forward to going when it eventually comes to pass.
And Andy, you just missed out on Dixie Dean, didn't you? But you must have some fond memories anyway.
Yeah, well, my first visit was I was at the 85 semi-final, which at Goodison, but obviously against the other lot. And talking of late rum days out, that was a rum day out sort of thing. Like, we were on that infamous last train out of Victoria that got stopped and off at Edghill, and the buses, no windows in the bus going over to the ground, and nails to golf balls, the whole kit and caboodle, so. And then other varying trips to Goodison. I absolutely love going to Goodison Park. It's going to be a bit of a miss for me, sort of thing, So, in fact, I can't even count how many times I've been there. You sort of go, and they all merge into different sort of things. That main road, Villa Park. You go to them grounds so many times. The games all merge into different sort of things.
But Ellie, are people still sitting with their mates? So did they manage that bit well, or have they messed it up? Because I know, West Ham have got all kinds of issues about their ground. They hate it full stop. But one of the things that they seem really to have messed up down there and at other places is that they've not taken into any account that idea of community on match day.
Not too sure, to be honest.
You got to pick, didn't you? Because I was in hospital with an Everton season ticket holder, and he was saying his mates had been to the test event and they thought it was great straight away. And he was saying that they had a proper process to choose the seats. So what did you go through when you got to choose it?
They did it in tiers, so it depended how long you'd had your season ticket at Goodison for. The longer you'd had it, the earlier you could pick where you wanted to sit. So I think we'd had ours for about 11 or 12 years, so we were sort of in the middle. And you basically just had to log on and find some seats. When you buy tickets for an arena or something, and they're seated and you can just pick the little dot. It was basically like that, but it was really irritating because every time you chose one, they'd go when you were in the process of going
In the
to the
lobby.
checkout. But I had to make sure, because you couldn't do 2 at once, each person had to do it at the same time.
Oh,
So that was
wow.
a bit
That
annoying.
makes sense. Ridiculous.
So we had to get, me and my dad at the same time had to, as soon as you chose it, it held it for you. So you knew that you were going to get that one. But I imagine if you were trying to get with a load of people that you'd already been sat with, it would have been a bit of a hassle.
Wow, that sounds really convoluted. And that's how you ended up in the St. John ambulance room, isn't it? But, you're okay on this for any treats you need.
We were, because my dad's a bit older and he likes a comfortable experience, we just went for the most expensive ones. It's called Club View. So it was fairly easy, that bit. But I imagine if you were trying to get in any of the other bits, it was hassle.
I want to
What
finish.
are prices like, Ellie? What's the range of prices depending on where you sit in the ground?
Mine was £1,200, which is eye-watering, really.
So you're at the side or an end for that?
We're on the halfway line, opposite the dugout.
Do you just get league games for that?
Yeah.
And not any away priority or anything like that?
No, the aways are done on a point system.
Okay.
So you have to get the chance to apply for one of them. So it would probably be Bournemouth on a Monday night would be the one that wouldn't sell out. But for the £1,200, actually, you get a program in our bit, and you get £10 to spend at the bar as well. Which is all right.
Per match?
Yeah,
That's not
not
bad.
too bad.
What do you get for that?
I normally get a beer and a pie, but it goes over the tenner, so you got to pay the difference.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know what £10 gets you in a football ground anymore.
Is it still Chang?
It's not been Chang for ages.
Hasn't
It's,
it? I just remembered. I used to love Chang. It's the only place I ever drank it was at Goodison.
But everybody was highly anticipating what the beer was going to be, because that's the deal breaker, and it's Budweiser.
Dreadful.
Dreadful. Yeah.
You were desperately hoping for Madrid.
Oh, even worse.
The Budweiser's about £6.50 a pint, and they've got San Miguel on as well, which is about £7.
Do they have any ale?
Yes, they have. I can't remember what one they've got. Have they got a Brooklyn IPA maybe? Something like that.
I've been in there. Been in that brewery. Yeah, there we are. My first ever away game for Goodison as well. Fond memories. Probably before you were born, Ellie, as well. Any other business, ladies and gents?
No, not from me.
No. Mr. Moyes, are you going to... Mr. Moyes?
Oh, yeah, I did want to finish off on David Moyes, if that doesn't sound too
A
disgusting.
lot of us would like to finish him off.
So, I mean, he's not coming back to United, I could tell you that, but how popular is he? Because he must have had all kinds of peaks and troughs in popularity at Everton.
Yeah, I think the general consensus is Moyes in. I don't think anybody wants rid of him. And I really don't think their performances are massively his fault. He's not got any forwards, really. I know we've got people who are called forwards, but yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? When your midfield are doing everything in the game. And then you got those two lads who play.
Calvert-Lewin then, you were a big fan of his, weren't you?
Oh yeah, what a dreamboat. He's gone, hasn't he? Bad news about Jack Grealish as well.
Yeah.
But we've got, Njai's amazing. He won't be sticking around for long, I don't think. Somebody will be buying him for big bucks at the end of the season, probably. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall's been pretty solid. He's a good player. James Garner, who played for you guys, didn't he?
Oh, of course, yeah.
There's some great players in the team. It's just that it depends on the day, whether they want to be superb or woeful.
And the stats
Let's
you
hope
brought
for
up
the
earlier
latter.
tell us, hopefully, it's going to be the latter. All right, lovely stuff. We are all off to learn the name of Everton Stadium for the 400th time. It's just not sticking
Don't bother.
in. And I would say mind the trams, but we've already heard that's not running. mind the trolley bus or that mad train, Ellie said, and do enjoy the pubs, but behave yourself.
Don't take the bus.
And don't take the bus. Thanks all.